One love, Delta 9 family. One love, and welcome in. Welcome into the live. Welcome into the live. Welcome back to the flight. Where you tuning in from? Where are you tuning in from today, tonight, wherever you are in the world? Because we know persons are international that tune into this live. We know that we get persons from all over the globe. Greetings and welcome into the live. And I thank you again for joining us live here today. Well, we got some updates for you. We have some very, very potent updates for you on what's going on with the case. You see what I'm saying? With Quincy. Remember Quincy that was missing yesterday? And we had the report. We put up the video where they were looking through the bushes for him. They were searching all over to find Quincy. Well, guess what? They found Quincy in the same bushes, right? With the sniffer dog come and sniff, couldn't make it and had to go rest, come back and still couldn't find Quincy. They found Quincy, right? Nigel Huge is at the police station with Quincy. In this live, we're gonna make sure that we highlight everything was going on with Quincy. Because guess what? They find him, and even crazier. Remember that fake report? Well, actually, we didn't know that it was a fake report yet. But that report with allegations of SA is fake. It's a fake report. The report was not even placed into the crime book allegedly. Allegedly, this situation right here seemingly would have been another one of the cover-ups that we would have witnessed with the force. And we got some other content too. Because guess what? President Ali, our honorable president, trying to dodge the fact that they're using a lobbying firm against Mohamed, which means that they're using state funds to go against their political opponent. Pretty much that's literally what we're seeing going on, because they're saying that Mohamed is a threat. He's a threat to the society. Allegedly, that's what they're claiming. So by them claiming that, he's saying that, look, Mohamed is a threat, and the fact that he was a threat, it means that we got all rights to use these funds to go after him to make sure that the safety of the country is intact. We can hear our president try to scoot around and bend himself around this, you know. There's a lot of corruption going on the ground. He disrespect the reporter, and then he come back and try to clean it up and put himself forward in the hole, and we can analyze and decode everything what's going on in Delta 9 family. We're gonna analyze it all right here. Plus, right, we got Adrianna's father calling out to persons who would have witnessed to come forward. He's asking persons to brave up and come forward so that the case can move forward with all the possible evidence so they can have the strongest possible case, because there's a lot of persons in high power that they're going against right now. But without any further ado, I'm just gonna ask that all 117 persons right now on the live, take a couple seconds, hit the thumbs up button. Let everybody in the world able to see this video right here, because guess what? Not a lot of places is going to present it like this. Not a lot of places is going to bring you the information, because guess what? The president already come back and try to cover up. We just had the little back and forth with the reporter. He come back and do another live because he already know. He already know what he did there. It was wrong. Yet he didn't apologize to this big woman. But let's go into the content. Let's jump into the content right now. Team Delta. Let me see what's going on with this case with.
Yesterday on my page, I reported a matter where we were searching for a young man by the name of Quincy, the police shot after. We searched all over, could not gotten him. The police was there, of course, searching, we were there. The police then put out a bulletin
Rennie,
for the young man that
they're
he's
very
wanted,
dangerous.
and he's wanted for rape.
Very, very
This was
dangerous.
never brought to the
Very
family's
dangerous.
attention.
Big up
It
yourself,
was
and
never
thanks for joining
brought
the
to the
live.
gentleman's attention, the young man, Quincy. A search party went in to the bush and found Quincy in the bush lying, wet, hungry, can't even walk properly. They brought him out. They contacted a lawyer. He's here. He could hardly breathe. They said that this report was made at the Grove police station, this police station here in Diamond. Look, the headquarters over there. And now we at Diamond Police Station. Not the sergeant, not the senior officer, not the commander, or nobody have no report or no allegation as it relates to this. This is what is said by the police. I'm not making up a story. They called Wales. Wales said, we don't want the man. This is an instruction come from out of our division, and we were looking for this gentleman. Now, look, the guy is there on the chair by Miss Gentle. What am I saying here? How
So
you could put
sad.
out a wanted bulletin for the gentleman is because the police shot at him and everything blew up. That you said that this man is wanted. Look, we get the slippers for him. Watch. Sick. 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 Nobody. Huh? So so where what is the crime? Now, attorney at law, Mr. Hughes, I'm on live. Could you tell me anything you hear and what's happening?
Okay, so about 10 minutes ago, I brought this gentleman here. We called it a
Don't
case.
worry if you
We
guys
stopped
can't
this
hear
one.
Mr. Huge clearly. He's going to repeat
Investigative
himself louder just in a couple of seconds. Just hold on.
police operations here. They say they do not want him. They have no report against him. We should check with Diamond Police Station. We are here at Diamond, and they're unable to locate a single report against this person.
Two of the
The
busiest
website
politicians in Guyana right now on this case.
come here.
Two of the busiest
This is
politicians in
checking with
Guyana.
the commissioner.
Honorable
He's the
Huge and
ranking
Honorable
official.
Brooms
He
on the
knows
case,
he's able
assisting
to
in any
get
way that they
any
can.
report relating to this.
Mr. Huge will repeat what
So
he's saying right
I
there
think this
louder
is
so
not
persons can
unusual for
hear
most of the
clearly. Just bear
police.
with him a
When
couple
they
of
find
seconds.
themselves in trouble, they create a crime and say that the person is wanted, but we are right here now, and the occurrence book has nothing at all so far. So let's see what happens, and let's see if this is another case in which Guyana
The
police.
city can't hear properly if they could speak
Oh,
up.
sorry. Are you? My apologies. Yes. I'm assuming you heard all I said before, but the police we brought in here. The police have no report whatsoever in relation to him, despite putting out a wanted bulletin for rape. They have been checking around all the high command of the Guyana Police Force, and nobody, absolutely nobody, can identify a single report against this gentleman. His physical condition, unfortunately, he is quite ill. He is under cold sweat and has a
Isn't that a
temperature.
sad
They're saying that
occurrence?
they want to take him to Diamond, have him checked out, but you can't be taken into custody if there's no report. And yet again, here we have police shooting at the person who was up for 2 nights. He was in the swamp, and we have brought him here after the wanted bulletin was published, and they have absolutely no report against him, at least thus far in their records.
Attorney at law.
Y'all hearing the level of corruption? Y'all hearing the levels of corruption was going on in Guyana? You mean to tell me that report went out and nobody in authority couldn't come out and say, listen, there is no record of this report in any of the crime books. There's no record of this report anyway. How are y'all publishing this report and putting this all over the airways and get people looking for this man as a wanted fugitive? As a wanted fugitive, and there's no report. You heard it right there from the Honorable Consul, Mr. Nigel Huge, and Honorable Brooms. They're there on the scene clarifying what's going on so we could understand what's going on in Guyana. When you talk about marginalization, when you talk about victimization, Rennie, when you talk about people just getting the wrong end of the stick all the time, somehow it just seems that the police is behind most of these things. And it's not we trying to put them in the highlight. We ain't trying to just put it out like that. It's they putting themselves into these situations. They are placing themselves in these situations for persons to have no confidence in them. Now to find the guy. right? We're glad that he's not wounded. At least we're happy that he's not wounded because there were reports that shots were fired behind him allegedly. Plus, the police is saying he gonna fall and go off twice. He gonna fall and go off twice behind the guy, right? Behind Quincy. So we're happy that he wasn't hurt in with any of those rounds allegedly from the firearm that fired, which we know is a satellite, right? But why? Who is answering for this? Who's the persons that got to answer for the fake report? Who's the persons that got to answer for the shots that were fired behind a man that there was no report out for? Who's the persons that got to answer for that lame attempt at the search with the one dog for that big area? If they had more animals, they would have been able to cover a wider area. And more than likely, because the man was found there, they would have found him before. Where is the finances that should be going into these different organizations to help them to function in the way that they should? Less than 1 million people, and that's how our police force is functioning, buddy. Louis, listen some more of what Honorable Brooms had to go through at this particular precinct, because guess what? They're about to rush Brooms. They're gonna rush Brooms, yeah, they're about to rush Brooms and Miss Gentle and all of them because they're confronting them about what's going on. Let's watch and see what our women and what the men, even senior council huge, got to endure when you got to encounter certain situations with the police force and you got to deal with persons who are dealing in a corrupt manner on the ground. We can keep highlighting and exposing what's going on. Plus, there's 200 plus persons in the live right now. If you haven't already, take a couple seconds, hit that thumbs up button and boost this video. Let the whole world see the level of victimization was going on in Guyana. Let everybody that needs to be updated with this very important information, very important that people understand what's going on the ground. Thumbs up the live. Thumbs up the live.
Mr. Nigel Youth. Hi, how are you? Um, Nothing. The young man, for the viewers, what is good in all this, he's alive and well. The police, he said, life is being disrupted. I'm sorry about that. As the calls keep coming in, the police shot at him and he ran for his life. He said when the police came, and I hope that you could get to talk to him. He's really weak. That the
Mm.
police had gloves on his hands, so he done tell himself he dead already. I don't know, police
Wow.
going for pick up people with all these masks and gloves
Wow.
and all of that on the hand. But the fact of the matter, what the attorney is confirming, that the police, nobody know nothing. Nobody have a report. Wales don't have any report. Exactly. You see the sisters, they are here. Beautiful.
Hmm. See what I see the people is saying the force got the most unalivers. They got their own vendetta before they got their own vendetta and aim
Yeah,
before
hold, you have to
joining
put
the
in the vehicle.
force.
You
And I
got to
feel they
back
get
out. You
some
can't walk.
vendetta after all too. Because
Bring
it
the vehicle
seems
to.
like
Look, the
if
vehicle is here.
they
The
just
vehicle is
use their
here. You
authority
hold
to
him
do
up. Hold
people
him up.
thing
Hold. You don't make it because of
and get away with it.
your head. Holy, holy, holy.
See, this is the guy coming
Hold
out
on,
here,
hold
so
on, hold on. Wait. Let me get it from the
thumbs up
front.
the live, guys. Thumbs up
Put
the
him in the
live.
front seat
Thumbs
there.
up the live.
Close here. Put on the ears here something. You're getting a lot of cold sweat. Like some viewers, they said that you got to go over to the headquarters, but he can't walk over there. He's quite weak. Um, I think traumatized and everything at the same
Hmm.
time. But I wouldn't say this is unfortunate. I said this is so wrong what our young people have to go through. It is
Yep, yep.
so wrong. No report, the call, command the call here, call everywhere.
Sad situation. Just look at her.
They found them in some bushes. They found him in the bush. I was not there, people, so I was not there. How are you? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You got to go through the gate with the police. You fall in the police, so you could drive in there. hmm So number one, even if it was an allegation and all, why you got to shoot after our young people? Why you got to be shooting after them like that? Jeez, you.
Well, the thing is this, you know, they're gonna have this guy sitting down in that station for a good amount of time until he's gonna get to a point where they just got to rush you over to the hospital. You just see, this thing is so messed up. It is so messed up that we have to go through these things over and over and over again. Look, that's Honorable Mr. Huge in front and Honorable Brooms now heading in to the precinct to see if they could get to the bottom of what's going on. Why this man, no report, a fake report given, no history of this report in the crime book, allegedly, and no, they're still holding on to the guy instead of them taking him over to a hospital where he could be treated before his situation gets worse and just, carding off the area, carding off the room that he's in or something. It's so sad. When you look at what's going on.
Why you got to shoot after them?
Greetings, Alicia. Welcome into the live and thanks for joining us here at
But
Delta
if they
9
got nothing,
Media.
they should allow the family to take
What
him
we're
to the
looking
hospital.
at
They see the
is
people and
they
want to take the
found
body to the
Quincy that they
hospital
were
first.
looking for in the
And
bushes that was
they got up wanted
allegedly
bulletin.
wanted
Because first
for
thing that said
SA. And the
is
report
that
was not on
they told the
record.
family
There's no
they
record
were
of
going to
that
put up his
report.
picture
It seemed to me like if it was a fake
to see
report
if anybody know him. Because, I was there
or a
yesterday,
fake bulletin, I should say.
right? And they're going to put up next thing. They didn't put up a picture saying, well, if anybody know his whereabouts, they put up a wanted bulletin that he's wanted. How are you? How are you? For a rape. And that was reported at Diamond. No, you can't get nothing
You hear Miss Brooms
here from Diamond.
explaining what went down?
Hi,
Yeah.
Odin. And the guy could hardly walk.
Sad
Like I said,
situation, yo.
I just happy that the youngster's alive. I think because he can't walk, probably I don't think you should take him out as yet. Let me find out and know so you're gonna know exactly where to take him. Miss Genta, you should ask the lawyer since they can't find no report, maybe that we take him to the hospital. Yeah, but you see, once wanted bulletin, they couldn't take him to the hospital. Once they find him, then they have to come to the police, right? So, how are you? Good. I'm fine, thank you.
Janet, you
So,
can see what happened when
viewers, I
they
am
demand medical attention
so
fee. Because
so
those were going
saddened
to
by
cause a
this. Now
big
the
uproar.
law
Watch.
is here
They're demanding
waiting.
medical
Nobody knows
attention fee because
anything.
he
Now,
really
if a
needs it.
report was made,
He really
you want to
needs
know
it.
something? So, viewers, I don't know if you could be on the standby. I want to come off of this live for 2 minutes.
I'm giving evidence. Right? You are out of the cell here? Would you like to speak to the council before you continue?
No, I just want to report that he was released.
Questioning on the duress is not a thing. This guy just come out to the woods. He had nothing good to eat or drink for more than a day or 2 days almost, or longer than that, right? And they're still trying to question him like that before he's able to refresh himself.
He assisted in the building.
That make any sense?
When you just can walk for yourself.
Guy can't even walk
Feeling.
by himself.
Yeah, feel weak. Injury.
Greetings, Marlon. They definitely overdoing it, Marlon. It's the true thing. And you know it's why? I believe it's because the person at the top, they don't respect the authority at the top. They don't respect the commissioner. Because if the commissioner was keeping them in check, they wouldn't be acting like this.
Call you.
Our council, the blink of the phone too, but do you have any injuries on his body that I should that we should report?
As far as I don't
Do you mind if you do that here?
no, let the doctors do that.
Oh, okay, well, anyway.
You're making a video recording.
Yeah, well, anyway, if you submit a blank medical form, there will be escorted into seek medical attention. Right? So, when you come, member of this case. Right? So, it's quite time.
That is the thing what I am wondering, Wendy. I asking myself this.
He had nothing.
Are they trying their best to incite some kind of unrest in the country so they could say, you see them, they're acting like this, they're doing this, they're doing that. Because when we analyze the amount of situations that just keep unfolding, it's either the police them is just careless or they really are trying to probe persons into responding in a manner where they could now run out and say, you see, we got to implement this force or we got to implement that type of force against them because of how they're acting. But if we look at this situation here, how could you put out a fake report like that for that guy, right? After you realize that person is paying attention to the case, after you couldn't run away or scoot around the fact that shots were fired, first hearing a weapon fall and fire off twice. That's highly, highly unlikely. And we know we can hear the top cops. Remember, Mr. Slow, the weapon specialist. He's going to break it down for you tomorrow, you know. He's going to let you understand what is really going on with this case here. Because I can type in and I'm gonna ask Mr. Smoke. He's the weapon specialist and he got the integrity for this case. I know a little bit about it and I know for a certainty it's highly unlikely that something like that would happen. But just for the fact that they presented like we just said that happened, right? You were firing after this person and you had no report. The report was fake. So what you call that really, man? What you call that really? What are we really going through in this place where every couple of days, look, just a couple, it's not even a week yet. It's not even a week yet since Rondell was buried. With the whole back and forth with them and the family still holding out, that is the police, right? Still no justice for Adrianna. Still no justice for Kian. Still no justice for Ronaldo. The fresh ones, you know, when the wounds them fresh, you still feel them. And we got to pay attention to these things. If we don't pay attention to these things, Umi, they will keep sweeping it under the rug, one after the other, after the other, after the other.
So to give him a biscuit because he didn't eat anything.
Any cell phone or so?
Police got a.
Okay. Now, one last question, please. Also, looking to sir, with myself, any rank in this building here, sound to you, right? But I would have observed this from my observation.
Listen to that line of questioning. How would he know if any of the rank them assaulty? If he didn't even see all the rank? If he didn't even eat nothing in a couple of days, he could barely hold up his head. How you question a man in a state like that? How could you question him in a state like that? It's so like, yo.
See no big hot scratch on this part of the body. That simply means ear to ear, ear to ear, the face side of the head, right? I'm seeing nothing of that side. What we will start to do position that.
Big up yourself, Ian. Welcome into the live. Welcome into the live.
Thank you very much.
It's relevant to go into the hospital.
Yes.
Well, that would be a sad, sad situation, Ian. If he really do that to this man, trying to take the man's life over something like that, what sense it make, buddy? What sense that make? Because now He can put himself in a situation where he might lose his job, or he could put himself in a situation where he would be prosecuted in any other country with a real functioning system of law, right? He would be prosecuted for this. He would find himself in front of the court for something like this, Ian, and then no one happened. The same woman and left your body. The same woman and left you. If that is really we do all of this for, foolishness, man. Foolishness. It's just a lot of victimization on the ground. Every single day there's a report. Every single day. Something new.
Well, viewers, he was arrested here, and the police went through in the presence, based on what I understand of his attorney, um, his rights and his rights to remain silent. So they're now going to take him to
Yep.
the
They want to deny
police, to
persons
the
access to
hospital.
social media, Don,
But like you heard the gentleman say, some Waldron make some report of
because we put
2022.
out
So I
information
never
like
heard the
this
name
so
Waldron.
everybody
I
could
was
really
thinking,
see what's going
but
on.
how this matter
So
is
people could
treated,
really see what's going on. We
something
put out
is
the
ahead
information,
or under something.
expose them.
Because yesterday was a whole different thing over the river. And then today, by the time you get here, listen, not even based, and the lawyer said it best. When he came, nobody could have said anything about it. And up to now, he can't see the evidence that will verify that this report was made on Friday, because it's what the telecom say. Can't see this book. Somebody.
They're unable to provide the entry number about when the report was made and the specifics of the allegation.
Oh, okay, okay. So
Mm.
yes. So the entry
You got
number
what they
and
don't go
roses and
make
things
up the
like
book
that.
now and the information
So
now, right?
they're
Hmm.
let's carry the man to the hospital.
Always in the front.
Of course.
Once it's a left front, y'all always get in the front.
Is that a problem? Why is a problem? How you mean the victim? You're a police? You're a police? No, but you're a police? Why are you speaking to me like that? But so why are you speaking
Disrespectful.
to me like that? Officer, shoo, officer, this man is abusing me in the presence of the police like that. Can you say who's that gentleman? I've done nothing wrong here. You're not sure? So why is he allowed to abuse me like that, officer?
Hmm.
Why is he allowed to abuse me? That's an attack on me. No, but you're attacking me. You have no right to attack me. Officer,
Disrespectful.
officer, I would like to formally report that that this man, you have attacked me. Officer, 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 I would like to formally report that I'm being attacked by this gentleman. No, you attack me. You can't attack me. You see how people quiet and how they start a rivalry? This big man, big more than the police. If I didn't
Oh,
walk in the station and behave like this big man, you think all y'all would have been so quiet? Nobody even taking my report. There's a privileged guy. This guy is privileged. And the
okay.
officer failed to take a report. I'm saying I'm being attacked.
Y'all look on the screen. Y'all see what Marlon saying?
Wow. But that is not the point. I don't even know his allegation.
Children
I know
of the
police
King
shot.
David.
His time, so you have a right to stand with our family. This is our democratic right.
Yeah. Yes. Well, look a story. The man attacking me in the station. Viewers, and you see, the police, there's a bad boy. Huh? He attacking me in the police station, police and taking me report. Huh?
Why you want to know? With a person like Brooms, right? A person that would have acted in real positions of authority in recent times. And the Honorable Mr. Huge right there. How come he don't have some type of different decorum and present himself with some type of respect for those persons that are there, right? He's seeing the man sitting down that the man could barely move. You know what I'm saying? Marlin, it might really be It might really be Marlon that he is doing something like that, trying to victimize the guy so that he could move in on the relationship, allegedly. That's what we're hearing in the airways. How could that, how could this level of stuff just go unchallenged all the time, over and over in Guyana? Over and over again. Let me ask yourself, right? We don't hear nothing more about Brutus, you know. That's how deep and that's how big the rug is with it dusting all of these things on it. We ain't hearing much about Brutus. Check it. More than a month or more, you're hearing nothing about Brutus. That's why situations like this now could continue to go on over and over again. These situations could continue to go on because there's no real repercussions that's coming down on them when they do certain things. Ain't no real repercussions for
Look at
this.
stories this. I am happy that this was done publicly. Yeah? I have done nothing. I was there yesterday.
So
I saw
sad,
the
man.
story. I heard what was said. So when the family and so forth and the lawyers heading there, I decide because I'm not so far from the station. So I am here now. I'm paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm? I'm paying attention. Nobody can say anything. Attack me in the police station.
Wow.
Book a story. Oh, he's a P.P.P.C. I don't care if he's P.P.P.C. or not. I don't have a right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying. I know which one of the vehicles because I was there to see. And they know him in the station. Hmm? They know him in the station. They know him well. Look, he's there. Look, he's there. He's P.P.P.C. Look, he's there. So y'all could see him. Look at him. You didn't hear
500 plus persons in the live right now. Take a couple seconds. Thumbs up this live. Thumbs up the live. Why? Listen to this. If they're trying their best to block out certain persons from even accessing social media from Guyana, don't you think in the diaspora, which has a larger population that is actually on the ground in Guyana, they're going to do something to block out the signals going in as well? They're just putting us on notice that these interruptions and that these distractions and disruptions of your life could go on so that we know got to make sure when we dep on programs like this that is highlighting things like these because we ain't got nowhere yet in the life, you know. Don't forget we got exposed what's going on with President Ali allegedly using funds to go after his political opponents, using state funds, mind you, to go after his political opponents. But the claim is this: the person is a threat, the person is a threat to public safety. So what about me? What about me? But look, we ain't get there yet, man. Let me listen to what Miss Brooms is saying right here, what Honorable Brooms is presenting to us. Because there's a lot of victimization from the top, come all the way down to the bottom. Come all the way down to the bottom. And we could see right here, right in front of his face.
here when he come and attack us in there, officer. You hear how the lady got come out? Were you there? I called the
Mike,
police,
bless
This
up
man
yourself.
attacked
Bless
me
up
at the
yourself,
station and he
Mike
started
Andrews.
this
Welcome
lady,
into the live.
But you see how quick you saying
Welcome
what this
into the
lady doing
live,
in the
Wumi.
compound? Why you have a
Carla,
right to
welcome
attack
into
me
the
in the
live,
station?
Joseph.
You are disrespectful.
Welcome into the live.
You attack me, you come and point your hand in my face and telling me that how I don't be there with other people. No, you said that, man. You said you don't tell me anything. You don't speak to me like that. You expass me. You expass me. Right, you ain't the wrong person, sir. You expass me. Tell people the mother, why don't you talk to him? Yeah? All right, mama. But you ain't telling him. You can't talk to him. You can't talk to him. You can't talk to him. Can't talk to him. You see what it's do? You see right from wrong? I glad watch it for see. I glad for see. Glad to see. You
Remember, we're going to harp on this conversation, you know. It's about access, Carol. Access. Who me, Travis, Joseph. Drop a 9 in the comment section if y'all could hear me now, right? Y'all don't believe, right? My perspective, that if these persons that's going through all of this marginalization and victimization on the ground in Guyana, if they had access to the resources, to the wealth of the country, could people treat them like this? Why are we making this the norm for persons to be treated in this manner in Guyana? If these persons had real access to wealth, real access to capital, so they could invest in themselves and start any business venture, do you think that they would be treated in this manner? That's why they want to keep us poor, subjugated, and keep the country in third world status when they got resources to put it amongst the 10 richest countries in the world. That make any sense? Why everything got backward for we, man? Why we gotta have a backward government doing backward things in the parliament and creating backward situations like this over and over, all the way down to the police force them that got no respect, no respect. You know, and we can see why they don't got no respect, because if you don't have integrity, you're at the head of the armed forces. How could the armed forces got integrity on it? How could the armed forces get integrity? They're gonna keep going on like this. And notice, none of the officers them can manage this big man and say, hey, how you going to answer with these ladies, buddy? Rest yourself. None of them can manage to tell you rest yourself and, you know, the decorum and them type of thing. But it's because they keep us marginalized. That's why they could continue to victimize you. You become fertile ground, like that Dean would say.
You can't do me nothing neither. You can't do me nothing neither. Back up your jokey self. You can't do me nothing. Why don't bulk up your job? Back up your jokey self. Eh? You must flat more than any flat tire. You could tell me stopping it. The police now video. Why don't you video him? This man attacked me in the station, officer.
Look at this.
We attack people. As a woman, you stand up there and a man attack me in the station. Eh? See, Miss Gentle. Miss Gentle, hold it. You see the disrespect for women? You see the disrespect for women? You see the what you say? What you say? What you say? If you attack me, you attack me.
Got to.
You attack me, I pass me. You mean use friend?
Definitely,
I come to
definitely. Definitely,
I
Marlon. They
so
got
what?
to be voted out.
You's a
New
criminal,
persons
that's why
need to
you're
hold
there.
those positions of authority.
Nobody could tell you nothing. Y'all leave him come. Look, your brother falling down in that y'all. You see something like this?
What's crazy is this. Contemplate on this, you know. You hear the man is still in there, falling down, can't sit down by himself, you know. He come in, obviously he's a person in authority, right? He come into the precinct, walk past the person that is there needing service, the person that's there needing help, right? And then went over there and take a seat, going through a whole argument while that person is sitting down in there, right? Fighting whatever ailments he would have fall prey to from being in hiding from a person who was allegedly shooting after him because they're messing around with his wife and they pulling up vendetta and them type of thing and using it as a reason for them to go after this big man. Is anybody safe with a police force like this? Desiree, is anybody safe? Welcome into the life. Is anybody safe when you got to go through things like this over and over again? Over and over again, Umi. Over and over again.
Eh? This man attacked me in front of the station, in the police station. Police ain't taking me report. Now I pass in and he there with the officer. Eh?
Sit down there and the man knew
I'm
you
telling
and
him
they
you're
don't
gonna
take you
mother
to the
so
hospital
so.
yet. My gosh, bro. What is next? What
Yeah,
is
calm down,
next?
yes. It's what story some P.P.P. and the
Real
officer
thing,
tell you come
Joseph,
out the
there's
police
no
station,
proper
he move.
leadership, and that's why they're acting like this. Full disarray. Full disarray. People do what they want.
Listen, my sister, calm down. My sister is all right. It's all right, my sister, calm it down. It's all
Greetings,
right.
Junita. Welcome into the
It's all
live,
right.
and thanks for
All right,
joining us.
Miss
Thanks
Gentle.
for joining us.
Miss
It's
Gentle, calm
definitely
down.
justice is a
Yeah.
must.
Yeah. But
Justice
officer,
is a must.
officer, this man attacked
One
me.
of the
And look,
only
these
ways to
police
get
are
them out.
here.
I'm telling you.
Where were you?
Officer, ask them, I want to make a report. This man attacked me in the station. But they know, they're hard, sir.
They're moving like the full. I don't even know. I'm forgetting the ites from the Bible that used to try to run down Mohamed, not Mohamed, father Abraham, wife. There's how they acting. It's what really going on in front of we face in 2025 in Guyana, man. Laureen, it's what really we have to witness over and over again this situation with the police force. It's what we really put into power. What we really elect. What we really put our sovereignty up so that they can represent us for. For this go down, I don't feel safe. I wouldn't feel safe knowing that these persons in authority and this is the force that they got governing certain situations. Look at what's taking place here. Up to now, nobody come to the bottom of what's going on with the report. And we're hearing about the digitalization of the police force, the digitalization, the new digital Guyana, a new digital Guyana, and they're putting out fake police report that is digital and it is popping up in every precinct so that every precinct got that bulletin that this person is wanted and they could now spread it all over the place. You mean to tell me none of the police them in verify the wanted bulletin ever since the wanted bulletin go up? Since the wanted bulletin go up, you mean I see this wanted bulletin all the way in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania till here the information come, right? And they writing Guyana right now, and they ain't seeing it and staying updated with what's going on. It's lies and corruption, and someone has to be held accountable for this. But you know who got to be held accountable? The person that is in charge of the armed forces and the commissioner. These is the people that we got to hold accountable and say, listen, what's going on with your department? The power is in the people. Don't let a cow we down and feel like we's fool. We're not sleeping. Let's not play around with this situation that is becoming one of the most pressing matters in our community. Every couple of days, it's a headline, an unbelievable headline. I never believed in a million years that I would have heard a report is fake. I never believed that you would have heard the guy found without no shots. Then you're hearing, oh, the police, the one man, white boy. And this one. It was tough. What kind of thing is this? But I guess when the guy commissioner admittedly taking 8 million and them thing, allegedly collecting 8 million plus, right? From sheriff them, so seemingly that's something that is normalized now to where people could do anything what they want, right? Anything what they want.
I asked to make a report and they refused to take my report.
We don't deal with summary matters over here. There's a state diamond police station over here. You could go make a report pertaining to that.
So these are not police, y'all. It's not police.
Criminal investigation department.
But he's a criminal because he referred to us as criminals.
So
He referred to us as criminals.
we refer you over to the police station.
Miss Gentle, I'm glad we come. Calm down. This boy is sick. This boy is sick. Watch, you see? You see? Look, brace up there. You can't go to the hospital yet. You can't go to the hospital yet.
It's a sin for a black man to stand up, stand with a multi-black man. But it is okay for the angels to stand for devil when the rape of blind God now.
Viewers, I am not here defending anybody. I was just covering because I'm following this matter from yesterday. So when the whole thing turned around, and I come here, is when they understand that anything of rape. Did I commit a crime? I come at the station very peaceful with the lawyer. I did not attack anybody. But in the presence of the police, a man attacking me.
Such a sad situation. Such a sad situation. We gotta ask ourselves, why?
Eh?
Why?
How are
Huh?
you? You all right, son? Yes, you're good. Wait, am I Chinese?
How is
You
this
work
the
out there?
norm? No,
I come and look.
this is a few moments after Brooms and them would have made their way over now to the hospital, right? Now, at the hospital now, remember all of these new infrastructural developments that persons are boasting about these new health facilities, state of the art, right? Now, this man come into this facility. We're gonna see what's going on. This man come into this facility and we're gonna observe just how he's treated and the help that he actually got, and we had to go through before he even see any medical attention. Any medical attention is what going on. And they're talking about all of these systems and all of this development. What development? When every couple of days, your most valuable resource is living in fear, is living in poverty, is living under some of the most stressful environments. There are no stress is kill. Stress is at the core of all illnesses is stress. And this is the type of thing that we have to encounter daily on the ground in Guyana, daily. Not everybody can be able to jump on a plane and escape it for a little while. People got to deal with this in the face every single day. So if you haven't already, buddy, 600 plus persons in the live right now. Please take a couple seconds. You could see the level of victimization going on. You're watching the video right now for more than 5 to 6 minutes. Please take a couple seconds if you haven't already. If you haven't already, thumbs up this live so everybody could see what is going on the ground in Guyana. Let's see what's going on in
I
the
know. I
hospital.
did on the live and done and talk to you. Glad to see you though. Yes. Listen. All right, girlie. Yeah, I gotta take it. This is a family. They got in there, just falling and sit on the ground and frothing up.
Hmm.
And they had to run in and heist you up. But he frothing up and trembling like so.
Fall down
The
and
thing
fast, you
them is
know.
gentle,
All
so
the
they
time
in
that the
there.
man by the station, you know. All the time they could have carried this man over and you get some
There's your
type of
family, there's
treatment.
a family member.
Now the man frothing
There's a
up and all kind of
family
thing.
member.
Still can't get no
Yes,
treatment. Like if a
yes,
call went forward and say, hey, lefty. I want to know what is really like.
I just here and trying to give
Hmm.
support to the family.
Lower than the dogs, we Ghanaian. Lower than the dogs. Lower than the dogs. Persons got no respect for the
I just
citizens,
hope he get
none at
back
all.
himself.
And if we put up with 5 more years of this, what is going to be the
I hope
situation after
that
that? Could you imagine the
he
level
gets
it's
back
going to go
himself.
to with 5 more years of this?
It's at the Diamond New
You
Hospital
need a
being.
change. Need a change.
Oh, jeez, you. And it's one old house to the next, to the
My
next. But
frothing up
since
on the
it's
ground.
by, since the
I want to
family
jump
and I
into
saw
these
this
other
by the
topics, but I
station,
want to let
and the
y'all
lawyer
see because
asks,
them putting this guy in
you
this.
really bring the boy at the hospital? It's not a morgue, it's not nothing. Oh my gosh, let the boy bring you to the hospital now. You gotta wait, you bring you nothing to take you to the bush. He was wet, frothing like that. And unconscious in
Whoever
the
was
state.
calling, call back.
Oh, Father.
I'm
Viewers,
gonna
me
add you.
again. I
Call back.
just ain't want nobody when I
I
see everybody
can't
in the
call you
lips
back
calling.
because it seems
I
like you were
share
calling
too
with a
many things,
restricted
so
number. So
don't
you gotta
forget.
give my
I just
call
go
back.
in live so that everybody could see what is transpiring because I don't even, you know what I mean.
Hold on, let me connect this with the speaker.
I tell you what.
Hmm,
See,
good.
I hear the people screaming. It's all the cheer of the belly fall. I heard the screaming, so I want to know if it was I want to know. I said this is not North. I guess this is not Miss Gentle squealing like that. That's how I run inside for people and see. Mm. I can't handle this story here today, people. I leave my house when I heard the found by life. I was so excited, right? Right? I fly up the new road. I said, well, let me run to see. I was just happy that they get the guy alive. But oh my God, the drama from there.
Definitely. And Wendy, the world is
Yes,
watching
man,
at the
I gotta keep everybody
inhumane
posted
treatment that's
because
being
I
meted
don't
out
want to
to
share what
certain
didn't happen and
demographic
people
of
said this
people.
body
The
said, nobody
United
said,
Nations is watching at
you
this,
know?
and this is the second decade, right?
So I know.
This is the second decade
Yes.
that this is going on when something completely different should be the reality for persons of African descent in Guyana. This is what's going on. That's what's going on.
Yes.
Greetings, Shireen. Welcome into the live.
Shauna, it's extremely sad people
Definitely
got to
gotta be
see
happy
your
that
face.
there's
When you
phones and
hear it,
cameras so
it's like
people
it's
could
enough
see,
for me. You must know.
right?
It's
We
too
got to
much
be
pain.
happy
It's too much pain.
that
Too much
persons is
pain.
able to videotape it
Mm.
and put it out live as well so the
They
world
detain
could
him
see.
just
'Cause
like
if
that, you see.
not, the
Mm.
narrative would be different.
Mm.
We know that this narrative would be completely different. Could you imagine if Honorable Brooms and Mr. Huge wasn't there, Shireen? What would have been the outcome? What would have been the outcome in this case so far? Eh? Let's just hope that tomorrow the headline is something that is giving us a bit more of a beneficial perspective, a bit more of a good perspective about what's going on in this case. Let's hear that, all right, Quincy is able now to eat. And whatever ailment was taking him at that point where he was frothing up and stuff like that, he would have partly recovered and he's okay. But there's some amount of compensation that he should be given for this. I believe so. The fake report, if nothing else, warrant that. I don't believe that these things should go unchecked and they could put out a fake report on you just so people could shoot behind you just and nothing don't come out of it. Nothing don't come out of it. I don't know what happening. Look, what is this situation? If you can hear me right now, drop a 9. Drop a 9 in the comment section. If you could hear me clearly right now, drop a 9. Drop a 9 in the comment section. Let's jump into this topic right now. We're already almost 1 hour in. Almost 1 hour in, and we now get into our second topic. We now get into the second topic, which is this. Which is this. This person right here, this is the leader of the armed forces, right? He now is confronted by a reporter, mind you, a young woman that is out at work. She's on her job. She's asking questions like a reporter would. And let me listen to how the president is going to treat a person who's out looking for their daily bread. Her job is to ask you questions, sir. That's how it goes. She don't got no problem with you, but you have a problem with her addressing the fact that allegedly y'all was using funds of the state to go against your political opponent. And y'all ain't talking nothing but May. What happened with May? I know this is July, but what happened with May? We still remember May. We still remember that May was one of the original persons that was sanctioned. We still remember that May was a part of the sanctions. We remember that. So how come he mentioned in this whole presentation here? Let me listen to how he will disrespect this young lady. Let me listen and let's get into the context.
By the government, a continental strategy has been, in a sense, used to target your political opponents.
I don't understand. You're saying a lobbying firm he hired. The
Yeah.
government has hired no lobbying firm to target anyone. So the premise of your question is wrong.
Okay.
You need to go and come again.
Okay, sir.
You need to go and come again and come with facts.
So
Don't come with your make-up stories.
no, sir. It's all
Let me speak. Don't come with your make-up stories for your own political narrative that your news agency is geared towards.
But Mr.
Yes,
President,
sir.
We, it seems like me
what was
cooperate,
the
but we
rationale behind
forgetting me.
asking the
We
firm
forgetting
to
even though
lobby
me God.
with respect to
You
Mr.
remember me
Mohammed
in
and
July.
Venezuela?
What,
What was the rationale?
you know, we have a threat. We have a threat with Venezuela. You know that Venezuela has threatened the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Guyana. You're aware of this. You're aware that we have serious danger with Venezuela. You're aware that Venezuela brought their navy vessel into our waters. So we have the capability that is necessary with our allies to keep our allies informed and to work with us in ensuring that at a diplomatic level, our message and at a diplomatic level, our communication is intact.
How does that message include Mr. Azruddin Mohammed, as we've seen in U.S. documents
I don't know.
How come the documents include Azadine, but they don't include me? Eh? Would you contact the lobby form for a person that used to be at the high ranking members in your political party? No, you wouldn't. She was on the same document that you're talking about that come from writers and all of this. She was on the same situation. So how come now we hearing everything? And listen, by right, if Mr. Mohammed defrauded all of that money from the US, because he's a US taxpayer, right? And if he's laundering stuff like that into Guyana, then he should definitely face the consequences for that. But let's not forget or act like we forget, right? That May was in the same situation too, so what happened with she body? And she was moving around with JAGDEO and them recently. And a member of the opposition at a call shout. Recently, I put up the video. Those who are regular on the channel will remember it. And if you don't see it yet, look, it's either the second to last or the last video that I uploaded. A person was pointing out that May was rolling around with JAGDEO allegedly when this whole Adrianna situation went down within the last 2 months. And she is the sanctioned woman too, with respect. She is the sanctioned woman. And we got to bring that and highlight that because they're trying to spread this narrative like they don't got a hand in what's going on right here. Like you and Mohammed wasn't good enough for him to lend you his vehicle and rolling on with you, giving you protection, and even saying that listen, these same weapons used to protect y'all back when they was gunning after y'all when y'all was in opposition. Y'all and Mohammed them was good at that time. Good enough for you to never know about all the runnings, all of the donations and everything you was getting was some of this money from the same smuggling. How come you're lobbying about that to get to the bottom of that? But you could use the taxpayers' money to go against a person who's going against y'all right now in the elections. How come you don't try to go against them before when all the millions and everything was flowing, when the bulletproof vehicle and everything was awarded to you? They got picture evidence to that. Look here what's going on here, man. A set of lies, a set of lies.
How you are linking this to Azruddin Mohammed? Madam,
But that is what is in the document, Mr. President.
Azruddin Mohammed, hold a second.
And the tweets issue.
Azruddin Mohammed has been accused by the US government, has been sanctioned by the US government. Azruddin Mohammed has defrauded Guyana in the documents that the US government has of 50 million US dollars in the last couple of years alone. This is no saint we're talking about. This is a man that is dangerous to our society. He has defrauded the state. He is sanctioned by the United States. He is sanctioned by OPAC. When you are sanctioned by OPAC, you are in breach of major international laws and treaties. That is who Azruddin Mohammed is. Let us.
And all of them don't fall upon the same person that was in your party as well. All of them don't fall on me. But yet they want us to believe that somehow they are so squeaky clean when it comes down to these sanctions. They want us to believe that May Thomas had nothing to do with tons. They want us to believe that allegedly May had nothing to do with all of that smuggling that went down. And if May had nothing to do with it, then who is the person that was calling the shots for it to move? Because all of them can't move with nobody in authority knowing what's going on. All of them can't move just so. How come we forgetting everybody from your party that gets sanctioned recently? Do we not forget? Let's not forget one of the big top ranking police officers that recently get sanctioned for that big boss what they had in Region 1. And he was promoted, which means he would have had to get promoted by this same one on the screen here. So would have to okay his promotion or would have had to known about the promotion. But after the outcry, they demote him and it's in good time because guess what? It would have looked even worse. It would have looked even worse. Like, oh, this is looking worse. This is looking bad. This is so embarrassing for a leader of a country. Leader of a country. Listen to how he discredit this woman who's just out here doing her job.
It's not reshape that. There's not the government of Guyana that sanctioned him. It's the United States of America that sanctioned Azrid Mohamed. It's the Reuters. You're part of Reuters outfit.
No, Mr. President.
All right, so you can get the local person from Reuters. It is Reuters, an independent news agency, that wrote the story about drugs.
You see, a reporter now, like me, I would have said, but sir, what about me? I know it's July, but what about May? I mean, talking about the May, June rain, sir. What about May Thomas, that was a part of your party and that was sanctioned on the same bill with the Mohammeds? What about her? Did she have any intricate part to play in this dangerous situation with Venezuela? Did she have any part to play with this threat to the society? Then that by right would connect you as the leader of the party and all the other members with the same sanction because she was a part of the party at that time and she went, they so-called put her on leave and she was still there actively on service until person started to call it out even more. And then now she's less visible to the public. But my thing is she might still be getting paid right now while they're trying to vilify Azadine by right if he's guilty. But what about me? What about me? What about that? The US sent forth, yes, sanctions after all of that investigation. The evidence is there. But when the convictions are going to come down, isn't May going to be a part of this conviction too? It's going to happen to May too. She's a part of it. So what are we trying to make we a fool?
And other illegalities. It's not government of Guyana. So let's get off of this horse. That is government of Guyana. It is not government of Guyana. So your news agency, which is NEWSOURCE, you need to get your story accurate. You need to run your headline that Azrid Mohamed is a sanctioned individual.
He telling the lady the headline that she should write. He telling the lady was the right story. But he leaving out a lot of the details, and this is the big bully who y'all want to be running the country, buddy. This is the person. This is the person who we're gonna trust with them type of authority. That person who going on like this. Watch. Real thing, Carol. He too had 19. And plus this other one allegedly was trying to pinpoint him, saying, look, you know about these cars and all of these things, so that might go down to 20 or 21 right now. He got things on playing a game and running up in the reporter face and trying to bully you because of his position of authority. Look at this. Look at this.
You saw Azrid Mohamed going to community and said it's the government of Guyana that sanctioned him. Have you seen that? Please, have you seen Azrid Mohamed, madam, from NewSource. Have you seen, please,
what we
ma'am,
published
ma'am,
repeatedly
please,
that
please,
Adrian
ma'am,
Mohamed has
Watch Priya face in the background, guys. Take a look at Priya face and how embarrassed she feels at how he's carrying himself and how he's disrespectful to this woman. Look at Priya face in the background, guys. Take a good look at Priya. Let me make it big and come off the screen so I could see what's going on here. So look at this.
Ma'am, I'm asking a simple question. Have you seen Adrian Mohamed going to communities and saying that you are sanctioned by the government of Guyana and not the United States? Have you seen that?
Sir, I'm the one.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that? No, I have a right to ask you a question. Have you seen that? You can conduct whatever interview. I have a right to. Have you seen that? You are now in the
Listen to
face.
this bully
You
now.
want to be credible? You're in the
I
face
Listen
of
to this
Guyana.
bully.
You are in the face of Guyana. Ma'am, ma'am,
Mr. President,
not credible. You are not credible. You are not credible, sir. And your credibility is even more in check after this. Did you or did you not use state funds to go after your political opponents? Hmm? You're using funds that should be for other things in the country to go against Azadeen Mohammed. Did you put at any time on these farms that the persons should be lobbying and finding out was the information as it relates to how the US is treating the fact that May was a part of the P.P.P. and she was sanctioned as well? Was this one of the things that you were lobbying for? Was this one of the things that you gave to the lobbyists so that they could find out if there's any blowback because May was a part of our party? No. But you out here trying to bully people because you think you name president and talking about credibility and credibility. What credibility you got? What credibility? You're a very disrespectful big man. You like throw around your authority. You like to throw around your authority and victimize people. You like to victimize people, but guess what? Not everybody you could victimize. Not everybody you could bully, right? And the persons that are willing and able to expose you to the world and let them see your decorum as a head of state. Just listen to this. Just listen to this.
with due respect to the journalist, I were to ask you questions.
Good, and I'm answering, but I'm not attacking you. I'm asking you.
I'm asking a basic question.
I'm asking
and what
you.
is the correlation between
What is the
Mr.
correlation?
Mohammed
What is the
and the Venezuelan president?
I don't know.
Greetings, you're live on Delta
But
9
that
Media.
is what the lobbying firm says in its filings at FARA.
Listen, I saw the
Greetings, you're live on Delta 9 Media.
Yes, this is Ali all the time. All the time he talks like this to anybody, like it's this dog.
Yeah.
This is Ali all the time. This is not the one run the country. I go on by. Bye-bye.
So disrespectful. Thanks for calling in. So disrespectful. Could you believe? This woman is out here doing her job, you know. Her job as a reporter, as a journalist, she got your list of questions. Oh, you know she's going to come with your list of questions. You know that the report is out. If anything, smile with she and say, man, it's too hot for these hot questions right now. I'm going to get back to you. Have some type of charisma about yourself. Have some type of respect for your people, them, buddy. Why do you think you could speak to us like that? Hmm? Why? Why do you think you could speak to people like that? But you know why? I can point it out again. Access to capital. One of the richest countries in the world, and they keep people stagnated. They keep people living at a certain level. When it relates to poverty and affluence, they keep people on the lower level of affluence. And some people are all the way down into poverty. Why? So that they can continue to do things like this. Remember that I didn't let it out the bag when you talk about fertile ground. Fertile ground is not only where you know, it's where you don't own and who you owe and how you got to bend your back and toe the line when people like this disrespecting you upon your own job where you just go for make a little money to take care of your family. They gotta reach this level of disrespect.
And the tweet is very clear on what the congressman believes is the correlation. I can read it.
But the lobbyist was
He's
asked.
definitely
The lobbyist was
passed people
asked
collect.
to draft
He's
these tweets, and the
disrespectful.
lobbyist was paid by the government. That's what
So
they're
do you
trying.
respond to reports that the government is using state resources to fund its campaign?
Excuse me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Because you haven't responded to the question I asked.
Watch. Let's look at her. He gone in the vehicle before we go away. Watch the security face. Watch the security face behind me. This man with this man, the security is looking at you like, what happened with this big man, boy? How this big man talking to this young sister like this with no respect? No respect. He jump back out the A.F.C vehicle and come out. Hey, were you asking me if we using state funds to go against we political opponents? Were you asking me? She should have asked you about May Thomas. She should have said, sir, what about May Thomas and her sanctions? Are we gonna just forget about that? She should have asked you that.
The government of the People's Progressive Party does not need state resources to run our campaign. We are not using any state resources to run our campaign.
So where is the funds coming in for the lobby forum? Where is the funds coming from for the lobby forum? Look, we are 1 hour and 11 minutes in. 740 people in this live. The bots, the trolls, and the whole media team gonna come after this live, buddy. Please, if you can, take a couple of seconds and thumbs up this live. Thumbs up the live and join Team Delta. If you're not part of the team already, it don't cost you nothing over here. Just hit that subscription button. We are on the road to 100,000 subs. So join the team now while it's still early on that journey, right? And give y'all a couple of seconds there, y'all hit the thumbs up button. Y'all see what's going on. Disrespect at the max. Disrespectful.
Our campaign is run by the People's Progressive Party with all resources supported by the humble people of Guyana. And we are strong, we are ready, and we will defeat every force that is ahead of us.
But we talk there's not even what the lady asking. He making this grand statement. What is smile on his face now? Yeah, I just make she a fool. She can't tell me nothing. I is the president. I will have the last say in this. I am the president and I will have the last say in this. She ain't talking about the money that you're using to campaign now. She's talking about the funds that you were using with the lobbying firm, sir. That's what she's referencing. Stop trying to play like you're like if the big woman is a fool and all them big people around you is looking at you and saying, but watch this bunny is lying. Watch it, you lying, a big man like you out here lying and disrespecting people on their job. And then persons are supposed to respect you and your position of power, right? How does that work when you got the sovereign power from the people that you're disrespecting? How that make any sense? How persons exercise their sovereignty in accordance with the Attorney General. I'm paraphrasing the Attorney General that the sovereignty is in the people's hands. You're born a sovereign, right? And you exercise your sovereignty by the persons you elect to represent you in Parliament. Now, the president is a part of this elected party. So how is he now treating the same people that put you in this position of power like this? You see, it's time, isn't it time, Team Delta, that persons that got some type of respect for people is placed in this position of power? Persons who is not willing to be corrupt, and then you can't tell them nothing because they would bully you in front of everybody. You can't tell them nothing. They would bully you in front of everybody. They would bully you. Y'all see what's going on, eh? Man, let me listen. And then he can come back and try to cover everything up.
Appreciate your response.
Disrespectful. Disrespectful to the max. To the max. To the max. To the max. And then guess what? That wasn't enough, you know. He run home or he run to Freedom House or wherever, right? And he made this video now trying to explain away what we just watched right there. It's a good thing I screen record that video because in a couple of minutes, next thing you're going to know, you can't find that video no way. Next thing you're going to know, you're going to find a portion of it and all kind of stuff. But I got it screen recorded and you just see it right there, Delta 9 family. What are your views about that? What are your views about that? It's right in your face. You could see what's going on, buddy. Right in your face, you can see what is going on right there. Louis here, what was the statement now come back with trying to cover up what we just see right there. Louis here. But yet, no apology, In this whole statement we about to hear right there, there's no apology to this big woman that he just disrespect. There's no honesty with the people saying, yes, we did hire a lobby firm. But he's going to hint at it. And I want y'all listen carefully when he's going to hint at it. Louis, listen.
By Adrianna Mohamed and his handlers, in which he continuously make the false claim to suit, of course, his own false narrative.
19, I think, is more than that by now because allegedly, you know about what went down with Mohamed.
Lucidly clear.
Nobody them vehicle, that might be 20 or 21 you need to wait. I think it's 20 or 21 you get by now, but we can see. We can see.
After they would have found evidence strong enough to have OFAC sanctioning him. OFAC sanctioning are not ordinary sanctions. They are sanctions that seek specific measures. Now the question before us, is Adrianna Mohamed a national security threat? Is he a security risk for Guyana? And let me be lucidly clear on this also. Yes, he is a risk for Guyana. He is a risk for many reasons.
I want y'all hear the board whistle. National security risk mean that at any time they could send in law enforcement. At any time they could send in the military for you, right? But if we're claiming all of this in relations to the sanctions, Team Delta, if we're talking all of this in relations to the sanctions, Team Delta, then how come we ain't talking about the fact that the P.P.P is connected to all that he's referencing right here? And you're asking, but Delta, how is the P.P.P connected to what the president is talking about right here? Because their high-ranking official, May Thomas, was a part of the same sanction at the same time. And we know that nothing don't go down in the country so without certain people okaying it. So it might go higher than May. It gone higher than May. It might gone all the way to February or January. That's how high it might gone. Higher than May.
And because he is a risk, the sanctions outline a series of effects that will come about as a result of the sanctions itself. And why is he a security risk to our country? He is a risk to our financial system. I would ask the media and all its handlers to ask the commercial banks why they cannot conduct financial transaction with him.
Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Media.
Ask the insurance companies why they cannot conduct transactions with him. Ask the persons who rented his buildings.
Yes.
Why they had to exit.
Yeah. Welcome to the live.
And cannot conduct financial transactions with him. So when we speak about national security,
no, I never see it.
We're speaking about the security of our state, our natural resources, our financial system, everything. So yes, he is a risk to our financial system.
Wow.
The
That's our
sanction
president,
identified
That's the
him
way he speaks to women.
as
That
a
is not the
key
first
figure in
lady
gold
and power that
smuggling,
happened to, bro.
defrauding the
That's the way he conducts
state of
himself.
Guyana.
So he's mouth and shut up. That's the way. And that's why his wife don't speak with him in public. You never see them speak in public.
And we got us.
Don't turn them and I don't even listen to him when he speaks.
Wow.
Because they can't take him. He has an attitude, he has arrogant attitude. That's
Wow.
why Guyana has been plagued with so much corruption and men treating women the same way. Because it stems from the top of the living ladder.
Come all the way down.
So you're doing a good job and continue with it, bro.
Thank you for calling in. Bless up. One love. So you see, Parsons is calling out and highlighting even more of what's going on the ground. Parsons is highlighting even more of what is going on the ground. They're saying it's a normal thing. It's a normal thing. And guess what? It seems like it's a normal thing for him to try to lie to people. And if you don't believe he lie, like the man get more mad when you don't believe he lie, by. Like the man get paranoid when you feel you could question what he telling you, you know. There's what seem talking about everything else, but he ain't talking nothing about me. He ain't talking nothing about me. And what we don't realize is what they're not telling us about. The US is not gonna forget that. The US will not forget that. The US don't play around like that with taxes and certain levels of smuggling, right? So all the games where they're playing with Sue and all the games where they're playing with the Chinese and got them running rampant in the country, right now, let us remember that the US is going against China in a big way. So they gotta pick a side. You have to pick a side. You can't have both foot, one foot away, collecting what you could collect from the US as far as it relates to support against Venezuela. But then you're still doing underhanded business with the Chinese, and you got Sue and all of them, and whoever else name right now, Long Pei Hung, and all of them, whoever running rampant through the country, right? They're not gonna forget that, and they're paying attention to that because you're talking about a new digital Guyana, right? You're talking about a new digital Guyana, you're connecting to Starlink. But what's going on with all of that free energy in Guyana? Because it's an energy race at the end of the day. Are you in business with China when it comes down to this energy in Guyana? Because that's going to put me at risk with the US. Definitely.
For many reasons. And because he is a risk, the sanctions outline a series of effects that will come about as a result of the sanctions itself. And why is he a security risk to our country? He's a risk.
Is these same things not going to come about? Because, look, if you got a businessman, a high-ranking politician, right, and the businessman's son that gets sanctioned for doing something like that, don't you think that the position of power that the politician is in, they would play a very pivotal role in making sure that all of that was able to smuggle? How you gonna pull the politician all the way out and just sink the people them who you want sink in front of your face like if we stupid? We know what's going on, buddy. We could clearly see what's going on. But mind you, he's trying to clarify something. Really listen and hear, because he's trying to point out that they did use the funds and why they used the funds. But in clarifying the fact of when these funds was used was way before. So it's definitely the fact that they're using it to go against their political opponent.
To our financial system. I would ask the media and all its handlers to ask the commercial banks why they cannot conduct financial transaction with him. Ask the insurance companies why they cannot conduct transactions with him. Ask the persons who rented his buildings why they had to exit his buildings and cannot conduct financial transactions with him. So when we speak about national security, we're speaking about the security of our state, our natural resources, our financial system, everything. So, yes, he is a risk to our financial system. Yes, the sanction identified him as a key figure in gold smuggling.
Now, the sanction also identify May, and May was rolling around. If he's a threat to the financial system in the country, right? How is another sanction person moving around with the former Minister of Finance? How is a former sanction person, May, moving around with the former president of the country that was sanctioned for the same line of things on the same ticket of sanctions like the Mohammeds? How is she still moving around with the VP, moving around with the heavy shakers and persons in authority, right? Doesn't that hold some line of threat or some threat to the financial system in the country? Of course it does. Of course it does, because if you're presenting it in that way, it can be both and not the same. Because how could it now create a problem from the Mohammed side, but it ain't creating a problem from May's side? And she was a part of your party who's running the country. She was a part of the political party that's running the country. But her sanctions won't affect the finances of the country. But a businessman who wasn't a politician at that time, who wasn't a part of parliament at that time, who wasn't a part of the high ranking members in the leading political party at that time, she not gonna affect the finances. Her being a part of certain intricate situations wouldn't compromise the very government as well. With the US, y'all think the US is play games. They just give you enough rope for hang yourself, and then when they pull it, you can't lose yourself out because you don't tie yourself up 25 times. 25 times or more.
Defrauding the state of Guyana over 50 million US dollars in just about 5 years. So, yes, is he a threat?
Big up yourself, Jeffrey. Welcome into the live.
Yes. Is he a threat to our natural resources, credibility, and transparency? Yes. Who defined this? Not the government of Guyana. The United States government, in a sanction that did a comprehensive investigation, has identified him as a threat to our financial system, as a threat to our natural resources system. He is also a threat to our diplomacy. And our diplomacy is linked to the defense of our sovereignty and territorial integrity.
This is what I'm saying. So then why not figure out, because we don't figure it out, that all of this is connected to the P.P.P as well. Everything that you are pointing out right there can be affiliated or connected with the P.P.P as well. You know why? We didn't settle. Delta 9 Media didn't settle. Team Delta didn't settle. Jeffrey and settle. Humi and settle. Mark Brung and settle. Rennie and settle. Right? You know who settle? All fact. All factors who pointed out. Greetings, you're on to Delta 9 Media Live.
Yeah, bro, me again. Here's one thing again, too.
I listen.
If you're listening to the father, when there was a court for the land,
yeah,
I asked the question, my brother, about the gold smuggling. What the father was all of us are sinners. But who is the greatest sinner? He did not say that they not do wrong.
Yeah.
But he said to them, it comes from higher authority.
Exactly.
And that's the line that did not take and run with it. Yeah, bro? That's the line they did not pick up. Because he said, how could one man take 10,000 pounds or whatever out of the country without higher authority, bro.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that is what people need to run with. This P.P.P government is corrupt.
Very corrupt.
Trying to use for self-sanction the president and everybody. You hear?
Yeah, man.
But the island, they're running after those. The island, they're running after.
Yeah.
You understand, bro? It's the island, so that's why they're not doing anything at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And when you got persons like this,
all these things the man said,
yeah,
come from higher authority. You know, the beginning, the president. And later on, if you heard of the thing was to gold. The man did not deny it, you know. You deny it, the man said he alone cannot do it.
Exactly.
From higher authority. But everything is just Mohamed. But now, because I want that one critic. You hear? Critic is another one. You see them putting money, $100 and something million at the pump station.
And disrespecting people when they ask about it. Yeah.
It's just time because they supplement the video and everybody do it. And the opposition needs to pick up this matter and run with it. I mean, not doing it, bro. All right, blessing love, brother.
Blessing love. Sad situation on the ground because watch. We can't act like if, and thanks for calling in and pointing out those insightful comments that you just gave. Now, we can't forget, even though they would want us to forget, and this is why gaslighting is so bad. Because you know, June, you know they got a lot of people. Big up yourself, Mistress Too Real. Welcome into the live. Big up yourself, Judy Paul. Welcome into the live. Definitely justice for Adrianna Young. And we got a special report coming from Adrianna's father in a couple of minutes. Right now, we're dealing with this one here. So Mr. Noah Stone on Turn Ali. This one right there who refused to sign off with the FBI and Scotland Yard coming so there could be real justice in that case for Adrianna. So there could be real justice for Randall. So there could be some amount of justice with all of these cases that are connected to them because there's more cases connected to it and they keep coming up one after the other. Definitely justice for Adrianna. We can jump into the just now, but right now we're dealing with this one on the screen here, you know. This one on the screen. He's trying to sell us a dream and we have to pay attention because we're not sleeping and we are all grown persons here. We can't let no person coming in front of the face and telling me things like this. It's important in our country. Our safety is at risk. Our resources, the finances is being manipulated. Could you imagine you paying 50,000 a month? Teachers crying out for raise the pay, can't get nothing. Doctors crying out for raise the pay, can't get nothing. One dog they're sending out to do a search party. They didn't get more funds for that. They could have spent on more animals, to train more animals, so they could have a larger canine unit. None of the money couldn't go to nothing like that. You know where it go to? Lobbying people for the extradite Azadine. But when they extraditing Azadine, how come nothing ain't coming out of the situation with me? What y'all don't realize is as long as you let in these persons, you can't tell them how to deal with their law enforcement. They're gonna deal with it in a real way. Then you think they're gonna take Azadine and left me? You think they don't realize that may play an intricate part of what's going on right there? Okay. I think
in
this
those sanctions, the US government has made it very clear that the US government or agencies or businesses cannot conduct business with him. So is he a threat to our diplomacy? Yes. Is our diplomacy linked to our national security? Yes. Is our security linked to our relationship with key allies like the US in defense of our border, Yes, it is. This does not require rocket science.
And with all of them, Mr. President, why are y'all still associating with me? Why y'all still holding me so close? Is it the reason that you're holding me so close is because if y'all let me too far away, she might let out certain secrets out of the bag? Could that be the case? Because I can't understand how you think we don't remember May was a part of this situation, buddy. And she's in the P.P.P. She's playing a big role in the P.P.P. from before then and even during the situation there. So all of these things what they're talking about that went down with the sanction is directly connected to high-ranking members in the P.P.P. right now. And this gaslighter right here feel like he could bully all the way into believing what he got to tell me. Like we don't have a brain in our head. When Ali come out and start talk, everybody must say, yes, sir, yes, sir. Like how he was telling the person in the 5 o'clock meeting, put her hand down to the side and talk to you. Disrespectful big man here, disrespecting persons, intelligence, thinking people ain't got no sense. But we seen through the lies, and we can't be the only one. The
These are
world
the
could.
facts. Our national security and the greatest threat is that of Venezuela. Is Azruddin Mohammed a threat to the defense of this border against Venezuela? Yes.
Azadine is a threat now to the defense of the borders against Venezuela. So is the other persons that were a part of the sanctions with Azadine as well to be considered a threat to the Venezuela to the border and our integrity when it comes to going against Venezuela? Can the other persons that were a part of the sanctions be considered a threat as well, given that they were a threat, sanctioned in the same way? I want to know if we could analyze it like that, Mr. President. Would that be right analysis, or are we considered stupidity if we consider it like that? Because how now could one person that was a part of the same sanctions be a threat, but the person that was a part of your political party, let me forget about them. Yeah, don't tell me nothing about them because hey, I clap a terrorism charge and you don't feel like don't feel that too good We don't see what with Rondell. We know y'all, let's give it up, buddy. But guess what? Some of we still coming in your face and letting you know. You can't make we no fool. We always really feel it is a tall body. Coming out and gaslighting people all the way. Persons gotta remember all of these things when they're going to exercise their franchise. Persons got to remember these things when they go into cast their ballots. Can't put these men in no position of authority. They have no integrity, none whatsoever. Look at this big man. So up to now, he didn't apologize yet, Up to now, he didn't confront the real meat of the matter as to why they're using funds to lobby a firm in the US against a political opponent. Where is this funding coming from? Who is giving this 50,000 every month?
Because our key ally has identified him to the extent that he is sanctioned by them. Let's move on. Let us not be naive about this. This is not about the government of Guyana. This is about our security, architecture, and infrastructure. We know, and we are clear, all of us are clear, about our key partners in the defense of our borders. This is not about politics. This is about our country. This is about our security.
So now, after you went and do what you had to do at Argyle, when people tell you don't go and do that, now you care about the defenses in the country. Now we're supposed to believe this foolishness when you don't get exposed. When you don't get exposed, and it's not nobody in Guyana do this, people in the US put out the information that you're lobbying them. Now when you get exposed about the lobby forum, now you're coming out with a flip about, oh, remember we gotta consider the integrity of our borders and all of that. So when we're doing all of this business with the Chinese, Don't you think this is going to anger our biggest ally, who is the United States? Right now, who is at odds with China? China, who didn't even support we when they signed against we. China signed against us in that last situation with Venezuela. So how we now allowing all of these Chinese entities to flourish within the borders of Guyana? That's going against yourself. So we gotta ask ourselves, who benefiting from that? Who's really benefiting from that? If they're gaslighting we in this way about a situation like this, how much other matters they ain't done gaslighting people for? And the thing is, a lot of persons are gonna believe this. A lot of persons are gonna believe this and run with it.
Let me be very clear. These investigations were there long before he announced his political ambition.
Listen to him make this situation even more worse. The investigations were going on long before he announced his political ambitions, right? Now, that might be so, but that would mean that it's probably around the time that you, sir, and your whole political party was affiliated with the Mohammeds. It's around that same time you're trying to tell me this was going on since then. So you didn't know nothing about all of this scamming with all of these 19 charges we were facing. You didn't making sure that the people them around you were clean and didn't have no list of no situations with fraud or corruption going on around them, given that they tried to hit you with all of these charges, allegedly, Mr. President. You didn't make sure that one of your biggest party supporters, that the funds couldn't lead back to sanctions from the US. And we're supposed to believe that you have the integrity and the know-how to direct all of those trillions of dollars. That's why so many people finding themselves in the situations that they find themselves in Guyana. That is why, because you feel that because you backed by people them who's willing to do all of you dirty work, that you could come and tell people who you want, do what you want, disrespect who you want, and you don't remember that the sovereignty is in the hands of the people come September 1st. To elect persons in authority that won't go on like y'all, buddy. That will allow them is one life everybody get just like y'all. Y'all alone must know good life. Y'all alone must got big house with pool house and all kind of thing connected to it. While people got to live like how Bailey them was exposed and people got to live in diamond, sewage water around them, no foundation. And they got to pay for them houses and days how they got to start off the life because y'all convince them by gaslighting them that they're living in a poverty-stricken country when it's one of the richest countries in the world. One of the richest countries in the world. And y'all got people living like that. And gaslighting them with a set of corruption all the time. Look at this big man face here. So we pull it up on the screen. This is not about me. Look at this big man face here. So just done disrespect the lady. Run home. He didn't even change his shot yet. Ghana sitting again for come with another list of lies, trying to gaslight people away from we just do. But we here to expose and highlight it, buddy. We're here to expose and highlight Mr. No Stone Unturned. Mr. No Stone Unturned, we're here to highlight what's going on with you, sir.
Or aspirations. These things did not come about yesterday. The congressmen and women, I'm sure, are given brief about every individuals. The government of Ghana don't influence what these people say. They have an entire office, an entire infrastructure that verify, that research, that give them information. That is not the role of the government of Guyana.
But what I want to know is how come Guyana don't got an office that is verify reports that they're putting out on the citizens of the country? What about that fake report that was just confirmed by Mr. Huge, that was just confirmed by the Honorable Brooms, that was on the scene rendering assistance? What about that? We can't afford it. You can't tell we don't know more. We could more than afford everything. That's why you have a natural resource fund. We have a natural resource fund because in accordance with so much money coming in, more money than the amount of people right now, in accordance with accounting, should be allowed to consume. So we're going to save some and make sure that we invest it and use it in a way that is going to benefit the whole country. But what is going on the ground? Some people are very wealthy and some persons, well, y'all know the rest. Y'all know the rest. Y'all could see it because we highlight it on the channel. We just highlight and expose the level of victimization going on in the country, buddy. Almost 1,000 people on the live right now. If you have not already, just take a couple of seconds. Thumbs up this live. Thumbs up this live. We are almost at the 2 hours mark. Thumbs up this live. We still got another topic, a very important topic from Adrianna father. He's calling for persons to come forward. We're going to hear that just in a couple of minutes. Please take a couple of seconds. Thumbs up this live. They got a whole, you know what they got a whole department of? They got a whole IT department that is set up to block lives like this from coming into the airways in Guyana. They got a whole IT department to come out and troll this channel with all type of disrespectful comments and give me a set of work for block this one, block that one, and all kind of thing. As soon as we come out this live, yeah, take a couple seconds and boost it. Let everybody get to see the level of disrespect and corruption that's going on right now, coming from who? Persons in authority, persons who it should never come from. You mean to tell me with all of that money, if y'all had a real heart and y'all was really for everybody with real patriotism and leadership, people shouldn't be crying out like that. People wouldn't be able to cry out like that because it would be blatant in their face. The benefits would be there. The roads and the infrastructure would be done correctly. People would get real service from the law enforcement, right? Remember they went back and get 50 something billion with a B. They went back and they collect that, right? We'll come out of that. We're coming out of the big $1 trillion budget. We're coming out of the multi-trillion budget. You know we're coming out of it? More conversations like this. More sad face like this. More lies like this. Because we continue to allow it. But you can't let people bully all your life. You gotta remember to live is to die. They're too disrespectful. They're too disrespectful.
And if the US has identified potential risk for Guyana, we have a responsibility to address and go deeper to find out what are the linkages to this risk. What are the connections to this risk?
Y'all hearing this big man here, man? With every couple words, he throw himself more deep. You see when you got a critical mind, how you could analyze this big man here, so? He want to analyze the connections. He want to go deeper to analyze what's really going on with this case. Don't you think you got to investigate me? You don't have to investigate May Thomas, that was a part of your party. Don't you got to do that to really get to the bottom of what's going on here? She's full access to you. You know all her information. You could call her up and say, May, X, Y, or Z. How come you didn't get to the bottom of that yet? What was the part that May play in this case?
What does this risk expose our country to? So the US government has made it clear that they have enough evidence which they're pursuing in relation to this matter. It is not the government that accuse or publicize. It's not the government that publicize Adrianna Mohamed linked to gold smuggling, drug trafficking, links to Venezuela, and other illegalities. These accusations of publication was not the government of Guyana. It is Reuters that published an international article in which they claim that they have
NEWSROOM.
enough
That's a
evidence
powerful
based
name.
on their research
One of these days we gotta have a
to
conversation about
link
that name,
Azrin
Nuke.
Mohamed to the
Newt
things that
Pan
they identify:
Nuke.
gold
Big up
smuggling,
yourself. Welcome
drug
into the live.
trafficking,
One of these days we
links to
gotta have a
Venezuela,
decoding about that name.
illegality. So, and this was long before he announced his candidacy. So this sympathy narrative, as if the government of Guyana is the entity that is going after him, is totally false.
It's wait, man. It's wait.
The government of Guyana has a responsibility to
Listening,
secure
guys,
our
listen
country,
up.
secure our people, secure our institution, and we are investigating all the links that put our financial system, our
So that's
natural
why you pay
resources,
the
our
lobbying firm.
borders, our national security, our diplomacy at risk. Because we have to do it. We must do it.
Okay, so this is why you
In
have
keeping
to
with
pay
our
the lobbying
national
firm.
interests.
Okay.
And perhaps
I want you to
those
know
who
right
are in
now you're
charge
talking this live. I
of
do
the
not have kind of
system
monkey magic to make this
prior to
live
this
continue
government
to
coming in
work the way that
place
it normally would.
should also
Yeah, I
say
telling you. My Facebook
whether
freezing, YouTube
they
freezing.
were
But we
aware
pushing on. We
or they
pushing
have
on.
had
Yeah,
information
thumbs up the live. Yeah, thumbs up the live. Thumbs
of the
up the
risk
live.
this individual pose to our national security. They should honestly speak about this.
See, I can't even hear the pause on this no more.
We have no
It's crazy.
interest in
Lee
going
run though.
after, I don't even want to say political lightweight, like Azrin Mohamed. Let me be very clear. It is international agencies, entities, and governments that has made it very clear. Is there an active investigation on Azrin Mohamed, internationally and locally? Yes, we all know this.
And
This
there's
is
one on
public
May too.
information.
There's one on
Long
May
before
too
he
and the
announced his
P.P.P.
presidency, after the sanctions, a series of actions based on evidence and information that is submitted continues to be pursued. I am not at liberty to speak at length about these, but the security agencies, international, US, and locally, are aware of this. The public is aware of this. Mr. Azrin Mohamed is aware of this. So this narrative to gain sympathy by blaming the government of Guyana is a lie of the highest order.
And what's this? A gaslight of the
Yes.
highest order.
Are we aware of active investigations?
We aware
Yes,
of
of
you
course.
gaslight. You
The
hearing the
public
smirk in
is
his
aware.
voice?
The international community is aware. The financial system is aware. The narrative that we somehow can control and direct what congressmen and women can say.
No one is accusing you of that. Persons is accusing you of using the
Totally
funds to lobby
outrageous.
people. Nobody is saying you could
As I
control
mentioned
no
earlier,
congressman.
these
I
people
can't
have an
even hit
entire
pause on the video
mechanism
no more.
through
I know
which to
what's
do
going
it.
on. This is the second time I done refresh this Facebook. But this one I almost finished and
Through
we're
which
gonna
to
go into the
maneuver.
content from Adrianna Father.
Azrin Mohamed is absolutely no threat to the People's Progressive Party electoral victory.
But he's a threat to the borders and he's a
Absolutely.
threat to finances in the country and all of that, but he's not a threat to you getting re-elected. Yeah, I
In his
believe in these lies.
imaginative head,
Anything could make
then maybe he may
sense like
believe
that.
them. Our support is strong, intact, and we don't need to move away from facts and what is there. So don't use your current situation that you brought upon yourself because of your action to paint a picture of political victimization.
Now, we heard everything what Mr. No Stone Unturned was saying right there. Let me take a couple of seconds to really realize, yes, that is the president. That is the level of his capacity. That is him putting himself further in the loop for persons not to represent or for persons not to respect his integrity, because he just pointed out to us that Azadine was under investigation way before, meaning that while they were closely affiliated with him, more than likely all of this was going on. So if all of this smuggling was going on under y'all nose, May was a part of it and y'all ain't know nothing about it. Could we really trust y'all with all of this oil wealth? People could be smuggling right now and you wouldn't know nothing about it because you didn't even know your own party member was doing things that was so nefarious that she would be sanctioned by all of these same places we're talking about, OFE, FBI, all of these people sanctioned her as well. And you didn't know nothing about it. So do you know about the smuggling that's going on right now in the country? Do you know about everything as relates to the infrastructural development? Are we getting the real bang for our dollar? Is our dollar really being spent correctly when it relates to infrastructural development? Could we really trust you, Mr. 19 plus 1, Ali? Could we really trust you, sir? We can't. Look at that entire statement right there. Not one mention of the fact that May was a part. You could even say we had to get rid of one of our own members because she was a part of the same dirty team or something. If you wanted to say something, I would respect that. But don't try to gaslight we act like y'all ain't know nothing about them sanctions and what was going on with the smuggling. Don't act like y'all didn't have no part to do with it, because it's obvious that somebody in high authority had to be playing ball with the Mohammeds for them to smuggle so much gold. Thumbs up the live, let the world see what's going on in Guyana, buddy. Mr. No Stone Unturned. Let's hear what Adrianna father is saying right now. Let's hear what Sir Brian is talking right now, because he's making a plea for persons to do certain things as it relates to the case. Let's listen in right now. One love to everybody that's in the live. We are almost at the 2 hour mark. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us here at Delta 9 Media.
For the people out there, all who have and who see something what I didn't see, because me, I can't see everything. I know you got some eyes out there see certain things. You understand, you know? So the people out there who see certain things, you need to come forward. You need to go and tell the truth. You need to tell what happened. Don't be afraid, buddy. You guys need to stand up. You guys need to stand up. You guys already stand up already, but you guys need to stand up a little more.
See? He's saying, look, persons got come forward who see more than what he see. Remember, he can't see everything. More persons would have had the opportunity to observe what went down in this case. Remember, there's still no real justice for Adrianna, and it's going to more than 2 months now. Mandela and all of them, you can talk about them. Let me listen to what he got to say, because he's calling on us right now. He's saying, look, whatever y'all could do to keep highlighting this case, to bring forward new evidence in this case, please do. Please do. It's needed. Don't feel like it's not needed. Don't let them try to brush it under the rug and make persons think everything is good with the case closed. McCushion came and he pronounced a set of lies. And he went back over to Canada, probably relaxing himself somewhere in the tropics right now or wherever he's at. Right? You must know that persons in Guyana, diaspora, and all over the world know what you did, sir. and we're here exposing you.
Is a weakness on the bear me daughter. A week. A week since the bear age. When my bear age in 22nd, the Sunday, last Sunday to this Tuesday. I was running through TikTok this morning. I saw a family was confessing to Mr. Mohamed again. So the president went to them and sit and talk to them and confess how you're gonna help and what you're gonna do. And
this one knows
the
stone
woman
on
said how long she
Turnally.
was trying to call him, he never replied. But I know the president want all them to vote this election. That's what you know. This election coming here, the president want everybody to vote for this election. The people them out there, we Guyanese need to be strong and rise up. We need to rise up for ourselves. We need to think about our children future. We Guyanese. I'm talking for me, I'm talking for all the Guyanese out there. We need to think about our children's future. Our children have a future in this country.
I'm telling you.
We gotta think if our children is safe to walk on the road. We gotta really think of them things up. As parents in this country, and
real things, Brian.
If you as parents in this country can open your eyes and see what's going on for another man's children, you're not parents. I'm telling you though. If you can't open your eyes and see what's going on for another man's child, you ain't got a heart, buddy. Because if me, you as parents, you should feel it at once because we all have kids. You understand that, you know? All we can say, not me, because I can't change it. I said, we, the Guyanese people, need to stand up. We need to stand up. We need to, for the people out there who are here talking and feel like they're talking nonsense, and y'all need to think about your children's future, buddy. Y'all need to think about your children's future. We have one of the richest country in the world.
Say it again, bro. Say it again.
More people say we have one of the richest country in the world. We all
say it
know
again.
That. How we see every single day. How we see every single day is how much the government invests in road structures.
Adrini, greetings.
How
welcome
much
into the live.
The government
Thanks for
invests
joining
in road
us.
structures. And when you drive on the new road, the government bill, you want to know, you get doubt sometimes if this money is spent for build this road in this condition or this road in.
Yeah.
For no, it's just a brand new road. Come
Rubio
on.
come till the country
How Guyanese people drive on the road, you don't know what they say are driving on. They are still questioning. This is all y'all hear about. When last we hear about a budget for Guyanese people and Guyanese children. When last year about budget, the only thing you hear about a budget for the Guyanese children is like come not at school time when you decide to give the children $50,000 for a child or whatever, back to school. The $100,000 what the government share out the other day around the world, around Guyana. You guys gotta wait a while more to get another 100,000 to tell you the truth. Because I wait 22 years. I don't know about people. I wait 22 years to the 100,000 with the government share out. So I don't know how much more years I'm gonna wait for the next one. You understand that, you know? But we Guyanese people need to stand up. And time coming for change. It's right there, it's right around the corner, the time is coming.
Definitely right around the corner, bro.
Yeah, but you people gotta be certain and be willing to have a new something you could sit and say, yo, we live in a country doing something good for us. We live in a country, we can say, yo, we government is there for we. You know, the government is there for the people. As for me, I start this every day. I got nothing against nobody in life, you know. I got nothing against nobody in life.
Yeah, they reopened the paper shards case, Mark. Right? Well, no, is Janet was pointing out that they opened back the paper shards case. Yeah, they opened back the case. Allegedly, they got some new evidence and some new credible person that came forward and gave statement. We're hearing that these persons allegedly is critics and somebody else that come forward now. I think is Raja Khan that come forward now and giving information in relations to the case. Now, I don't know why and how much importance, right, these statements are, but we gotta just watch and see how it's gonna play out. We gotta watch and see how it's gonna play out. Y'all hear what Adrianna father Sabrian is pointing out. He's asking persons, everybody that could hear from all over the world, he's asking persons for help moving forward with his case. Come forward if you see something, say something. If you know something that could move forward the case in a real way, don't be afraid. Because it's all about making sure that the country is safe, making sure that the children in the country are safe. Because were we to put back these same people in authority, what's going to be the outcome in the next 5 years, man? What is really going to be the outcome in the next 5 years if things like this, what happened with Adrianna, is going on right now in the country, and you can't really get no real justice? Persons bullying you, all kind of thing, calling your child all types of names, all kind of thing, buddy, all kind of thing. What is it going to be in the next 5 years, PA? Bless up, welcome to the live, PA. What's it going to be?
The time is coming to make a change, we have to make a change. We wake up every day, we go to work, we work hard, and come home back, and we sleep to wake up again to do the same thing tomorrow. You see? Come on. We live in a country. As for me, I live in P.P.P for the past 10 years. For the past 10 years or 15 years, the water come in one color. The water come in red, everybody need water here. If a pipe bore wrong here, you could know it's government pipe bore from the water color. Nobody ain't checking for change, you know. Nobody ain't checking about it. Every month you get a water bill coming, you know. Every month you get a water bill coming high. I said people that should go to Gaffur and buy X amount of black tank ain't falling off. Ain't falling off. I know black tank. Some people comfortable with what's going on. Yeah, I guess some people now say uncomfortable with what's going on right now. Because why? Them something nice to them.
Yeah.
Thing going them way.
Yeah. A lot of persons is willing
Thing
to
nice to
watch
them,
this
buddy,
level of
so
oppression going on the ground,
I'm
buddy.
not really give a damn who feels it. I don't give a damn who suffer. Thing nice to them. I just want people to understand something. I'm hoping I am just watching something, right? If me, right, Just put us this way, example. You put us this way. If me, right, could go out me way to help some people. I mean, I'm nothing. I mean, helping people. Sometimes you ain't got nothing. Nobody giving me nothing for help them people, but me helping people have my own free will because I used to go around and I feel it how some people live it. So I decided to help them people. What happens now if me get some more things to help people? You don't feel I can help them more in a more better way? You feel if I get some more help to help somebody, I can help them in a more better way? Yeah, I can help them in a more better way because I can help because I'm helping you and I didn't have nothing to help you with. So now if I get something more to help you with, I must help you. This is how this going on right about now in this country. People need to open eye and see.
But we ain't getting that type of situation going on with the persons in authority though. They ain't saying the country got access now to way bigger budgets. People shouldn't be living in that manner. They ain't saying let's set up a situation to where every male from your reach 21, you have access to the fund. You just got to come with a plausible investment. You just got to come with a business plan and can prove that this business plan is financially sound, and we will grant you the opportunity to step in to life with the opportunity to buy back your freedom from having to go and punch a 9 to 5 and start off at one of these lower ranking positions. We're going to give young men with entrepreneurial endeavors the opportunity to invest, right? So they ain't gotta go and slave for their whole life and end up in situations like we see so many of our brothers and sisters ending up in, Bobby. So many of them. If you're saying justice for Adrianna right now, y'all see your father on the screen. Y'all hearing the conversation. He's presenting it and letting persons know, look, we got a lot of people that is good with what's going on right now in the country, buddy. A lot of people are all right with the level of victimization that's going on because everything is good for them. Everything is good for them. We're going to keep highlighting and exposing everything going on in this case, making sure that you stay updated along the way, Delta 9 family. So everybody that could hear me right now, if you're subscribed yet, buddy, it don't cost you nothing. Hit that subscription button. Be a part of the team so you could know every time this flight taking off. And we just fly daily.
Yeah, people helping people from them own pocket. Something happen if they get some more help. If they get some more help, would be more better for them. I believe that they help more. I believe they help us stretch out a little bit more. If the person or whosoever helping these people, I can get some more funds to help these people, as Guyanese people, as we, now Guyanese people, as we, I believe they're going to help us. But we Guyanese people got to go to make that change happen. To see if we get the help. I really don't get the help. If we want to make the change happen, we don't get no help.
Yeah, because what's the alternative, buddy? Mr.
Just be an
No Turn Ali
again.
with a satellite.
The same nonsense.
Satellite, buddy.
Maybe the next 5 years, the same nonsense.
Valerie, welcome to the live. Thanks for tuning in.
How many more person, teenage person, how many more child in Guyana have to die? So we country start going in the right way. So we start getting some justice. How many more person have to pass away? How many more kids have to pass away? How many more parents got to be left heartbroken? How many more? We don't know. I can't see a place have more than one murder, and the government or the Guyana police force never followed it up. This is the first time I ever hear something like that in my life. That's why it's really study this country. Anyway, as in the world, once they got a murder
the level of corruption
happen, people investigate. Police investigate. I never know it got more than 10 more that happened in one place, more than 10 person die in one place in the same way, and nobody ain't open the eye and asking.
What really
Nah,
going
man, it's
on?
still fishy, man. Too much person dying in
Yeah.
the same place. Wow, let me pay a little more attention to what really happening here, man.
Let me not forget, Mr. No Stone Unturned Ali was on the phone with Adrianna's mother, telling her that she should leave the scene before they even found her body in the same hotel. So we gotta wonder about it, why they trying to cover up this situation so much. You know why? Because they are behind the pardon that the Double Day owner would have gotten and allowed him to now be back on the road to do these same type of things. Guess who they get it from? Same Mr. No Stone Unturned coming out now trying to sell a whole different scenario to the situation. But the world could see what's going on. The world could see what's going on.
Getting though. We don't get though. All the police who went in, me that to scene, working normally to deal with each and every one of the police. Each and every one of the police still working normally to deal with it. For the person just put up, I'm looking for money. I tell the person, they say, for the person who just put up, I'm looking for money, because see me face to face and tell me, yeah, you're looking for money. I tell them face to face what I'm looking for. Here, I here
Disrespect
gonna
the
tell the
big man.
person, every time somebody see me up here and asking me, you're looking for money, I born a richest body. I born rich, I born as a king body. Almighty met
Disrespect.
me as a king, I born as a king. Are you rich? Yeah, sometimes money don't make you rich. I stack there over 1 million times money never make you rich. You gotta get rich from your heart. I don't rich body.
Y'all hear though? They always could come on and point out, oh, it's money y'all want, because they know. They know how did it stagnate our progress. They know how did it marginalize us, buddy. They know that we ain't getting none of them big contract. We ain't got no big boyfriend like Critic and them gonna get a big deal on the pump station. Big $1 billion contract, nothing in do. Nothing can come out of it. A whole different company now take over the contract. That's the level of corruption. That's the level of corruption that's going on in the country. You heard it right there from Adrianna Young's father pointing out the level of victimization, the level of corruption that you got to face in Guyana right now. Y'all hear for yourself, buddy. Y'all can see for yourself what's going on. What I'm doing right now is I'm looking for this channel, right? There's this particular channel that is supposed to be broadcasting an interview with Adrianna's mother, and it might be other family members. So what I'm trying to do, they come on like around 7. So what I'm trying to do is put the link in the comment section so y'all will be able to go over there, subscribe, make sure y'all say, hey, Delta 9 Media send you over for subscribe and be a part of this broadcast so that the world now would see a set of people again supporting them, a set of persons over there again making their voices heard for justice. I'm looking for the channel right now. I think it's called No More Flinching, FLIN. Let me see if it pops up. I had the information. Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So I'm going to pull it up so that you can see the page and you can go over now to the platform and subscribe, because this is a movement. This is now one man show. One person can't keep this highlighting and on the front burner all the time. It's going to take a team of persons. It's going to take a team of us to keep highlighting this. It's going to take a team of us to keep this movement for justice going. Now, this is the channel right here. This is the channel right here, guys. Let me jump off the screen so you could get a chance to see it for yourself. This is Carlotta. This is Carlotta's page, and she is going to have an interview in a little while with Adrianna's mother and more than likely some other family members. So if you have not subscribed already to this page, how much people we getting here right now? Almost 1,000 persons on the live right now, right? That's the name of the page right there. No more flinching. So at 7 p.m. today, Adrianna's mother and other family members are supposed to be doing an interview on this channel that you see on the screen right now. This is Carlotta Taylor's page. Remember the FBI trained detective that did that sit down with our brother, Mr. London. She did 2 interviews with him. Guess what? Today, we're going to have an FBI trained detective asking questions directly to Adrianna's young mother. So we're going to get some more details. Because remember, she got the know-how, and she ain't frightened for ask the real questions. And she's not frightened in front of them. In front can't bring them type of conversation to she, because she would make sure that he keeps himself within the decorum that he should as a person in authority. So this is the channel right here. No more flinching talk, right? At 7 p.m. today, she should be having that interview. Make sure you subscribe so you could get a notification when the video is going to go live. This channel right here at Delta 9 Media, we are going to keep highlighting everything that's going on in these cases so that you can stay updated with everything along the way. And we're going to make sure that we put other channels to the forefront as well. That is exposing the information, that is making sure that this movement for justice stays on the front burner. Subscribe to No More Flinching Talk. She is going to be presenting an interview today, later on, with Adrianna Young mother, which should be very interesting. I know a lot of persons are really going to be glued to that interview for the details that she will now be able to bring out, because remember, she's FBI trained. She's going to know the questions to ask. And guess what? Her colleagues are going to be watching at her channel too. Persons that she would have worked with in law enforcement are going to now be exposed to the case. So it's going to move forward even more, Delta 9 family. I want to thank every single person that would have joined the live. Now, we're going to get into a couple of words from our sponsors. Let's hear a couple of words from our sponsors right now. 8 Butterfly Health and Wellness.
Study hard, work hard, play harder. Verb, nerve, and muscle power. Keep thinking and moving at any age. Verb, nerve, and muscle power.
Unleash the best version of yourself with every goddess. Say goodbye to limitations and say hello to a better, stronger, healthier you. A natural way to stay ready, baby. 'Cause I'm ready for you, Mr. C.
The ultimate male supplement. Men's total wellness formula. Packed with essential nutrients for men's health.
She'll call you Mr. C.
Definitely a powerful presentation. I want to thank everybody that was a part of this live today. And I want to thank you all for coming through and being a part of this movement for justice. It's important, It's very, very important that we keep highlighting and exposing these things. Because as we could clearly see, persons that are in authority right now, people in authority, persons in the forefront of the country, is spreading some serious gaslights about what's going on in this case. I'm freezing up on the screen again. I don't know why. But if you can see me on the screen right now, drop a 9 in the comment section. I'm freezing up bad. I don't know how this is going on. This is very, very strange activity on this computer. But anyways, the live must continue. I want to thank every single person that can hear me right now that would have joined the live. I want to thank PA, our very insightful moderator. I want to thank Joseph. I want to thank Rennie, Ian Williams, every single body, Deborah, welcome into the live, definitely. The Nine for Justice. I want to thank every single person that was dropping comments in the comment section and spreading all of that insightful information so we all can stay updated. Big up yourself. Shamea, big up yourself. Welcome into the live. Thanks for joining us over here at Delta 9 Media. Big up yourself, Samuel. Thanks for joining us live. Every person that is in the comment section right now that I can see. Constance, welcome into the live. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for joining us on this movement for justice, on this movement of exposing the levels of victimization in our country, in this movement for unity. Why unity? Because we need to unify and put persons in authority that really want to see good for the entire country, not just the part that support them, but the entire country. Joseph, definitely big up yourself. Thanks for joining the live. Valerie, every single person. If I scroll past the international chef, big up yourself. Adini, big up yourself. Thanks for joining the live. Mark Brown, every single person. I don't know why this thing freezing up. But guess what? We done put the information out there and they done get likes on the video. And I'm asking every person that can hear me right now, hit the thumbs up button if you hit the thumbs up button yet. Every single person that can hear me right now. If you haven't thumbs up this video yet, thumbs up the video. Let the world see that more than 1,000 persons were present in a movement for justice, in a movement in exposing victimization. Let them know that everybody cowering down, not everybody taking bully, not everybody taking gas. Like we are the ones that are gonna say no. We are going to stand for what's right. We are going to be the generation that's going to break this course on our country, man. Why we can't come together and done this foolish division that's keeping us apart for so many generations. This one coming out and saying, oh, when Burnham was in power, Burnham did this. And the other set's going to come out and say, oh, JAGDEO and this set doing that. When are we going to come to a middle ground and say, listen, this side did this and that side did that. But right now, with all of this wealth and with all of these persons that is infiltrating our country, if we don't find a middle ground, in a couple of years, we're going to be overrun by the multitudes of persons that's going to come into our country and sit in certain positions and prevent those of us who are natives who've been there for so long from the real benefits that's coming from our resources. I want to thank every person right now, over and over again. I say it because I'm truly thankful. I'm truly, truly grateful to every person that come through and join us live here. Life is a special thing. Life is a precious thing. And by right, time in itself is the same. So at this point, I will be bringing the live to a close. If you haven't subscribed yet, pot, big up yourself. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscription button, buddy. It don't cost you nothing. That's why you can get a notification every time this flight is taking off. Thanks to everybody that was in the live. Bless up yourself. One love. And I will catch you in the next flight.